I am here with a tutorial today. I haven't done a tutorial in a million years, and so I am just going to show you guys how I got this look. It's kind of a blue, kind of smoky eye, but it's like also got wing liner, and I usually don't do a smoky eye and wing liner at the same time, but today I did. And then I did just a little bit softer of a lip. It's kind of a light pink and it's pretty understated just because the eyes are a little bit more bold. And yeah, if you guys want to see how to get this look, then just keep watching. And like magic, my eyebrows are done. I will show a video of that later if you guys want to see like kind of how I do my eyebrows, but it's time consuming, so I didn't want to include it in this video. The first thing I'm doing is priming my eyelids. I'm using a primer by The Balm called Put a Lid on It. It works pretty well. It's just fine. This is a cream shadow. I'm using white because when I use bold colors, I like to do white underneath. It's like the difference between coloring with crayons on a white piece of paper versus like a green piece of paper or a skin color piece of paper or whatever. The colors just show up and pop a lot better. This happens to be a jumbo eyeshadow pencil by NYX, but you can use any cream shadow, and this is just what I do to kind of double prime my eyes. It helps everything stay really, really well. Okay, so the first color I'm going to use is this kind of medium deep blue. It's a little bit shimmery. It's super, super pretty. It reminds me of the ocean. But what I'm going to do is start at the bottom of my eyelid where my lash line is. And when you're doing a smoky look, you always start with the darkest colors at the lash line and then smoke upward. So I'm just packing it on really, really densely. I don't want there to be any white showing through. I just want it to be a nice, even kind of application over the entire lid. Now I'm doing the other side, and you can see that I'm not making this super precise or anything. That's the awesome thing about smoky eyes, is that they look terrible, and they look messy, and they look awful until you're done, and that is the way it is supposed to be. Okay, so I'm going to go in with this kind of reddish brown shade by Makeup Forever. I think it's the shade 162. And I'm just going to take that on a goat hair brush and blend the edge of that blue. This is not precise. This is not a science. You literally want to think of this as different colors that you're working with. You've already put down one color, and now you're just going to smudge the edge of that color with this color. This is our blending color, if that makes any sense. The best thing you can possibly do for your smoky eye is to blend and blend and blend like a crazy person, and then when you think you're done, just blend for another 10 minutes or so. So now I'm bringing it up just a little bit with a clean blending brush. I'm just going to really soften the edge of the reddish brown that we put down and blend that up into my brow bone so that the transition between the dark colors and my skin tone is a lot more fluid. So again, just taking that blending brush, it has nothing on it except for what I'm kind of rubbing it around in right now, and then just smooth out that edge and blend it upward, and blend until you think you're gonna go crazy. I have, as you can see, like pretty dark veins that you can see in my eyelid there. If you have something similar, you might want to use like a flesh toned cream shadow and bring it all the way up to your brow bone when you are priming your eye. The next step is taking this really, really soft, fluffy brush, and I'm taking an even lighter shade of like kind of that reddish brown. It's super, super light. This one I believe is Soft Brown by MAC. Yeah, Soft Brown. And I'm taking that almost all the way up onto the brow bone. I'm really just being kind of generous with the area that I'm covering while blending out that color. Just adding a little bit more of the Makeup Forever shade to make it a little bit darker there, and blending some more because that is pretty much what takes up all the time when you're doing a smoky eye. If you feel intimidated by the thought of a smoky eye, I promise you, if you just blend like crazy, you really can't go wrong. Okay, that's a weird thing that I do to like block out the light and the shadows to make sure that the colors are even on both eyes. Okay, so just like we did the white cream shadow on the eyelid, I'm going to now do a similar thing with a more precise tool, which is just this simple creamy eyeliner, and it is in pure white. I'm going to take that all the way underneath my bottom lash line, and the purpose of that is exactly the same as what we did on top. It's just going to make the blue and kind of the smokiness on the bottom, it's going to make it really pop, and it's going to make the colors more true. Yeah, we were listening to the entire discography of Pink Floyd on shuffle while we were filming this, so just be thankful that you only have to see the singing and you don't have to hear it. Okay, so moving on to the lower lash line with the shadow, I'm taking that same Deep Truth blue color. that we did on the upper eyelid, and just kind of running it right the way along the lower lash line. This doesn't have to be precise again because we are going to blend the heck out of this thing. So I'm just taking a little smudger brush and just dabbing it down there and kind of smoothing it out, but you really can use any brush. Okay, so I'm taking that same reddish brown color from Makeup Forever and I'm kind of adding it on top of that blue, and it's going to help to kind of transition and soften that lower lash line. You really don't want the lower lash line makeup to be harsh. It can kind of make your eyes stand out in kind of a weird way. I don't know, it's a little bit less flattering. So I'm taking a really fluffy brush now. It's a little bit smaller than the fluffy one I used on the top eyelid. And I'm taking that soft brown color by MAC, which is super, super light brown, and blending and blending and blending that lower lash line. It's going to soften the transition between the lash line and the skin, especially because my skin is so stinking fair, that it's not going to look so harsh now. It's going to kind of just make everything look a little bit more seamless. And continuing to do the same exact thing on the other side. I cut out clips of how much I blended this, you guys, because I literally blend forever and ever and ever, and that's the only way I can possibly be satisfied with the way it looks. So now I'm taking a little bit of a deeper blue and just kind of dabbing it into the corners, and make sure to blend that out as well. It just gives your eyes a little bit of dimension just for fun. This look really doesn't need it, I just did it because. Now I'm taking a clean brush with a nice highlighting shade. I believe this one is Shroom by MAC. That's one of my favorite highlighters. And just kind of dusting that on the brow bone right underneath the eyebrow. And then also taking it in the inner corners to kind of brighten that area. I'm really into the look of kind of wide set eyes. It's the kind of eyes that like a lot of models have, and I just really like that look. And I don't have wide set eyes myself, so you can kind of fake it by putting that brighter shade in between, like where the inner corner is. Just doing a little bit of mascara. I skipped over the wing liner because it takes a while. I can do that separately if you want. The only reason I'm putting on mascara right now is to turn my lashes black. I'm not coating it on. I just want them to blend with these false lashes. Now, I had a major struggle with these false lashes. The band is angled with the actual lash really funny, and yeah, I don't think I'll be using these ones again. I tried something new, and I'm just going to go back to what I'm used to. So this glue is by Duo, and it dries clear, so I love that because you can really like mess it up as much as you want or need to, and it's just going to go away, so you can't see the glue anymore. Starting on the face now, I'm taking this primer. This one is by Hourglass, and it's their Veil Mineral Primer. It helps to keep the shine down and keep your face looking matte all day long. I'm just putting this in kind of the T-zone and the cheeks, and it looks a little scary because it's pure white, but if you rub it in until the whiteness goes away, that's when you know that it's fully absorbed into your skin, and any skin tone can use it, and it's not going to show up and look white and look goofy. I'm taking my foundation now. This is Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Plus. I'm in the shade 20 if you're curious or think you might have a similar skin tone to me. I'm taking it with my beauty blender and applying it everywhere. I don't necessarily like doing my eyebrows before I do my foundation because it's kind of hard. Oh, doggies, aw. It's kind of hard to kind of like work around the eyebrows and not mess them up once you have done them, so I just did it that way today for some weird reason. And yes, my beauty blender is broken. The tip of it like broke off when I was trying to clean it. What are you gonna do? So this takes a little while, and Taylor decided he was going to focus on the dogs like off and on throughout the blending process, so I guess that's fun, but they're sitting on the bed being so good in the background. So anyway, I'm just using kind of all sides of the beauty blender to really blend in this foundation. It's more of like a bouncing motion than rubbing or like buffing, and the bouncing kind of helps to like push it into your skin while also softening the edges of where you've put it. Yeah, Taylor told me to be a clown with the beauty blender, so there's that. Okay, on to concealer. I'm just going to conceal some blemishes. Pretty self-explanatory. I like to dab on the concealer and then blend a little bit with my finger, and sometimes I'll blend with the beauty blender as well, just because it kind of helps to melt everything in together and blend really nicely and be more seamless looking. Okay, so foundation is done. Moving on to under eyes. This is also a lot easier to do before you've done your eyes. I just did it in reverse today for some weird reason, and I don't think I'll be doing it again. But this one is a pink, just kind of brightening concealer. It's not really much for covering. It corrects the undertones in my eyes a little bit, and then it also brightens that plane of the face to kind of lift your cheekbone. So just blending that in with my finger where the eyeshadow is so I'm not messing it up, and then with the Beauty Blender as well. Now I'm going in with a liquid concealer. I think this one is NARS, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember which one I used. But this is more of like a skin tone concealer rather than the highlighting one, which was more pink. This one is a couple shades lighter than my foundation, if you can even imagine that that's possible. Just again to really highlight that plane of the face and give the appearance that you've got those lifted cheekbones and bright, open, like awake eyes. And then make sure when you're concealing your under eyes to really blend everything because it is a different shade than your foundation. I'm taking Hourglass's Ambient Lighting Powder. This one is diffused light, and just kind of setting my T-zone, and I will set my under eye concealer with it too later. Okay, so contouring. I can do another video if anybody thinks that that would be helpful, just on contouring alone. When I'm filming makeup tutorials, I usually contour and blush a little bit more boldly than I would if I was just going about my day, just because it's hard to kind of pick it up on camera with these bright lights. So if it looks a little intense, that is because it is, for just the purposes of demonstration. Okay, so I'm taking my NARS brush. This one is called the Ita brush. This thing is a lifesaver and I adore it, and it really helps to make the best possible contour. Contouring can be done with other brushes. I just find that for me this is easier. So taking it all kind of around the perimeter of my face and blending it really well, even into the hairline. You want it to be right up against the hairline, which is why my hair was getting all over my face. So like I said, contouring, it's a whole kind of separate demonstration, but it is one of those things that you really can't be scared to put that product on your face because you are going to blend it out and it's going to look great in the end. Just taking a little bit more of a fluffy brush to kind of blend out that edge really nicely all over the face. Contouring is a good way of kind of faking cheekbones if you don't really have really defined cheekbones. And I also contoured my nose as well, and just anything that you want to really shape and sculpt out. Okay, so going in with a blush now. This one is by MAC. It was a limited edition. It's called Ripe for Love. I can't remember what collection it came out in, but it's just a basic peachy pink kind of blush. So I am just dusting that all over my cheekbones. You want to make sure to blend in your blush with the bronzer that you use for contour so that it's not like a pink line and a brown line, because it's not going to look cute that way, just to be blunt about it. But anyway, like I said, a little bit more intense than I would do day to day, but I wanted to be able to show you what it looked like on the camera. Now I'm taking that Ambient Lighting Powder with a fluffy brush and just setting my under eye concealer with it. It's extremely important to set your under eye concealer, especially if, like me, you put a million products under there, because it'll help to keep it from creasing and looking kind of weird throughout the day. Also taking that down kind of in the T-zone where I would want to highlight a little bit. Now I'm taking a cream concealer. Anyone will work, it really doesn't matter, and I'm just kind of singing. Yep, that was Pink Floyd's Nobody Home, I think. Anyway, so just kind of taking it all around the lip line. This is going to help the lip color that I use not to bleed. For some reason with me, I have to do that. Even if I'm doing a lip liner, which today I'm not, it still bleeds if I don't put the concealer. So this is a small little lipstick from Dior that came in a Sephora like 500-point gift. It is called shade 578. It's like a small version. I didn't think I was really gonna like it, but I actually do. It's nice and soft and pink, but it's subtle. It's not like bam in your face pink, so I like it. And really, you don't need a liner with a color like this because it's really gonna look just fine, I promise. Okay, so going in with a lip gloss. This one's by MAC. It's like bright pink. I don't even know what shade it is. And with that, we are done, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I had a lot of fun making this video. I hope it was helpful to some of you. If you have any questions or requests, leave a comment, and I will be sure to address those. Bye, guys.